Hey everybody, I'm Sean Smith and welcome to Awakening. This is another episode in which I want to challenge you, encourage you, and inspire you to these next levels of growth. And that's what Awakening is for. If I could just do a quick introduction, Awakening is meant to stir something deep within you, right? Like pull out your greatness, pull out that this idea of I'm gonna go beyond just surviving, or I'm just gonna get by, versus no, I'm gonna live life fully. I'm gonna thrive in life. I'm gonna keep dreaming big dreams. And what happens is we settle for the dead man walking syndrome, the monotony of life, the routines. We're just kind of going through the motions. And so awakening is like, no, 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 no more of that. I want to awaken you to something, the giant within you, right? Like there's something about that. There's something great within you, and we just got to pull it out. And so sometimes we get caught in these ruts. And so I want to, awakening is meant to like stimulate you, get you through that rut, get that impetus, get that energy, get that passion that gets you out of that rut and back into that lane in which your best self can come forth, right? And when I talk about that, I'm talking about making a difference in the world, adding value to other people's lives, feeling great about who you are and being who you are, right? Not trying to compare yourself, not trying to be someone you're not, but just being in your lane, right? We call it like the true north. When you figure out like, this is my lane and I'm gonna pour everything I got into this while I make a difference in other people's lives. And so today I'm talking about feast versus famine. Another way of saying famine is scraps. The feast versus the scraps. And I really want you to get that word picture. It's like, this is an amazing feast, a banquet, a wedding. There's like, this is the best food, the best wines. Everything is there for you. The table has been set. Here is the feast. And yet, even in the midst of that, we settle for the scraps. Like we don't think we're good enough to sit at the table. We don't think that we think our past gets in the way and prevents us from sitting at the table. We don't deserve it, right? Or whatever gets in the way. Sometimes we self-sabotage, but that's what causes us to settle for the scraps. And we miss out on this great opportunity before us. And so I ask myself, where do I settle? And answer that question for yourself. Like, where do you settle? Where is your line where you're like, this is my standard, I settle? And I want you to be aware of what I'm calling feast envy. Because if you have a seat at the feast and you continue to sit at the feast, this is you're living your best life, right? And other people are not going to appreciate that. They're not going to celebrate you. Like, and I hope that you have people that do, but I'm just telling you, there's always going to be critics. There's going to be people around you as you achieve, as you change, as you get to like greatness in whatever that area is, right? This is going to cause others around you to feel less than. You don't have to make people feel bad. They're going to feel badly as you continue to get to that next level of your iteration. I call this these iterations, these next chapters of your life. If you have this mindset where it's a growth mindset. I want to continue toward greatness. I want to continue to evolve. I know there's more left in the tank, right? There's always something where I can achieve, I can grow, I can learn, right? And so I'm going to keep doing that. And unfortunately, there's going to be naysayers in your life. There's going to be critics in your life, and they're literally envious. Don't let them take you down to the scraps. Right? That's what's going to happen. They're going to be around the scraps and they're going to make you feel bad. They're going to try to make you like, oh, you don't have time for us anymore. And you're changing this and you think you're holier than thou and all these things. They're going to try to say things that get you back down to their level. Right? And I'm just going to encourage you. You do what you got to do to help lift them up. Right? If you can. Not everyone wants to get to that next level. Some people like the scraps and you got to be okay with that. And you got to surround yourself. Every iteration of growth, you probably got to get new people around you. There'll be some people that will come along for the ride. That's awesome. But you've got to be willing to, if you're going to go sit at the feast and you're going to continue to grow, you've got to be willing to sacrifice. And you've got to surround yourself with these new levels of people that love the feast, right? So raise them up to the feast. And here's a thought for you. Your standards have to be more important than others' opinions. Your standards have to be more important than others' opinions because everyone's going to have an opinion. And I'm just telling you, like, people don't like being left behind. And they'll do whatever they have to do to try to sabotage you because they've learned how to sabotage their own success. And so no one wants to have a pity party by themselves. So you just keep being you and keep growing with that mindset because the feast is worth it. And I'm going to tell you, as you continue to feast, you're going to have more and more people that you can impact their lives, right? That's what you have to understand. The cost is there's always going to be a few that get left behind. But as you grow and as you develop and as you learn how to care for more people and you get to pour into more people, your legacy, you're gonna enrich more people's lives at the end of the day. And that's what this is about, because as you sit at the table around the feast and you have other people that have that same or similar mindset, then all of a sudden you're gonna keep raising your level and you're gonna get better at your craft and you're gonna impact more people's lives. It just goes with the territory. But you have to examine. So here's the question. Self-examination. What causes you to settle for the scraps? Ask yourself that question. Reflect. If you want to pause this right now, pause it and answer that question. We already talked about critics. But what about, now replay it. Press play again. The busyness or lack of intention. We can settle for the scraps because we miss opportunities to grow, because we allow ourselves to get too busy. We allow ourselves to become distracted. We settle for the good instead of the great, right? Like there's a lot of good things in life that can rob you from the greatness of life. And so sometimes we lack intentionality. I was listening to a podcast the other day and this guy was saying literally he has like a little bit ADD and he has to set his alarm every hour if he's at work. Like say he's going to be putting in 5 hours at the desk, and every hour for those 5 hours he sets it for 55 minutes and says, look, pause 5 minutes to recalibrate, to get focused intention. What do I want to accomplish in this next hour? Right? Sets the thing again for 55 minutes, goes after it with intention, does that 5 times. Right? Like that's a person who wants to be on top of their game, who wants to bring intentionality. And when you have that sort of focus, then you're going to continue to grow. You're going to continue to sit at the feast. But I'm just telling you, the robbers are the busyness and the lack of intention or distraction. Right? What's another one? I would suggest that maybe another one is complacency. This idea that we've arrived somehow. If you think you've arrived, I think there's a little self-deception in there. You can be very good at your craft. You can be great at your craft. But you got there because you had an edge. You got there because you weren't satisfied with results. You were always focusing in on getting better, improving, right? And helping others do the same. And so you've never arrived. You've got to know that. The feast is always there. And you want to continue to grow, continue to stretch, continue to expand your own standards. You raise them up. Right? And so we're quote unquote never good enough. And I don't like to say that way because some of you might take that the wrong way. It's never self-condemnation. I'm not talking about that. I'm just saying there's always this mindset of a growth mindset. Like I want to learn. I want to grow. I want to get better. You know why? Because other people's lives depend on it. Because I want to care for more people. I want other people, right? I want their marriages to be great. I want their fitness to be great. I want their finances to be great. I want people to thrive in life so that they can impact more people's lives. And then lastly, let's look at the positive side of this. You think about the scraps, right? Now think about the feast. The feast to me is this idea of faith goes with feast, because faith is like this idea of belief, this idea that there's something greater out there. Like there's something worth aspiring to that matters greatly. These are the dreams that you have, right? You can't allow your dreams to go dormant. You've got to continue to dream big dreams. You've got to continue to believe like there's more people's lives out there. Even if it's one person, like can you pour into one person? Can you help that one person make it in life? Like be a mentor, like whatever that looks like, continue to dream big dreams. And then lastly, just have a go for it kind of mentality. Like you got to be willing to risk a little bit. You've got to be willing to fail a little bit. It's like, because every time you fail, you learn, you grow, you get better as long as you examine it, right? And so that way you don't continue to repeat the same things that keep you stuck or keep you down what the scraps are. So keep elevating your game and keep creating like what stretch goals or reach goals that continue to challenge you and stimulate you, that cause you not to settle for mediocrity or even for really high goodness, right? Like continue to soar, continue to get in this place where you give yourself permission to dream big dreams, knowing that, hey, you're going to fail along the way. Great, learn, grow, course correct, and continue on this race. Sit at the table where the feast is, have fun. There's great wine and great meats. There's a banquet to have. Enjoy the people around you so that you can make a difference in this world. Peace out. All right, you've been awakened. Let's see you next time.